So some days you feel like you're going somewhere. Some days you feel like you've arrived. Today is one of those days. Let's go and see why. So yes, the day has truly arrived for the arrival van, and they've even got their own number plate, EV21. I mean, how cool is that? This is a completely new way of doing things. It's a ground up electric van, really focused on one very specific purpose initially, and we're going to discover what that purpose is. But we're also going to get to have a little look around the innovation and the new thoughts and the new technology that is going into this van, and then onto a whole plethora of options in the future. But let's get started. Now, I don't know if you saw the alpha version of this, but this has had a bit of a redesign, as you can probably tell. And one of the things that they've done is lift the windscreen from down here up to here. Now, I think this is a sensible, time-saving adjustment to the vehicle and makes absolute sense and shows that they've taken feedback from fleet users. So as every van driver should, we're going to start with the safety check. Yep, they've even thought about making that simpler. And it is simply a question of just hooking, in a sense, this, and then you have access to all the things like the washer fluids and any other fluids that you need. But of course, bear in mind there's no other engine in there, there's no dipstick to check and no oil to run out on you. So that's a great start, right? But let's get in the vehicle. Now, as I've watched the development of this vehicle, I wondered what this space was for. But of course, it's to make life easier getting in it. You wave your hand across this function here, that releases the door, and then it just slides open. And the brilliant thing about this is there's nice, low, easy access. So a couple of steps and you're in the vehicle. And of course that's going to make a significant difference for the drivers that this vehicle's aimed at. You're talking about people that are in and out of this vehicle maybe up to 200 times a day. Nice, easy in and out access. The passenger seat, which is a temporary thing, because most of the time these don't have a passenger, of course, nicely tucked out of the way. A nice driving position and loads of visibility. This is great so far. So looking from there, you will be forgiven for thinking this looks very Tesla-esque. Well, they've tried to keep it simple. And one of the things that I asked them about was, how robust is that going to be? Well, they promised me that this is going to be very resistant to scratches and smudges, and you can operate it with gloves and so on. And then you'll have a degree of functionality on the steering wheel, of course, for things like your remote, your phoning and all of those kinds of things. Not to mention voice activation. And one of the things that they're actively encouraging is the use of our voice, which is always good news for me. And the minute you need to do a delivery, you're walking straight into a very well laid out, usable space with light up above from a panel in the roof, making really intelligent use of the natural daylight. Obviously you'll need real lights, which are LED down the side in the winter, but the summer, fantastic. Cubic capacity is always maximized with this van. So they've built it with the idea in mind that they're going to give you more cubic capacity per meter of van than any other van on the market. And the way it's designed and the look and feel of it, that absolutely feels like the case to me. Being able to maximize every square inch of the vehicle for parcels in this case, but put your own use case in it, this is going to make a difference. Now, one look at many of the parcel companies' vans around the UK, and you will know that they are likely to bounce off of things. So two things: you've got lots of parking sensors, there's a camera up above, there's even remote cameras at or video digital cameras at the sides of the vehicle, which is fantastic. And bottom line is, this is made of composite material, so I could literally, and if you watch some other videos, you'll see people taking hammers. This is their prototype, they wouldn't let me. Anyway, taking hammers to these panels that just bounce back into shape. And I tell you what, that is going to maximize the efficiency of this vehicle, because there's nothing worse than downtime, right? So that's really what I particularly love about the thought process that's gone into the Arrival van. It has thought about the efficiency, and even things like the main drive motor can be easily modularly removed and put back in, and that presents a load of options. So even when something might go wrong, listen, there will be a quick solution at your arrival place of repair. And talking of efficiency, that is one of the areas in terms of the battery and the sizes and the performance that Arrival are really focusing on. They've got a great 120 kilowatt DC charger as standard, and up to 11 kilowatts, so you can charge on your 3-phase charging. And the battery sizes range from 67 all the way up to 133 kilowatts an hour, giving ranges ranging from ranges ranging from 120 up to 211 officially miles range from the battery sizes, which I think for a van of this size, doing the kinds of urban operation that it's going to be doing, is completely within the realms of good sense. So what are the options with this van? We've already heard about the battery options. There will be length options and height options up to 2.7 meters, but they'll also in the future be bringing it down below 2 meters. So to answer those questions about getting into car parks and into difficult positions. So there will be variety in time, but certainly for the initial phase of the launch, this is the van that we're going to be seeing on the roads with UPS and in other operators. So as I may have mentioned, this vehicle has digital rear view side mirrors. Now the mirror is visible from the driver's seat here, but this importantly will save fleets a potential fortune. I've sat in meetings where we have ummed and ahed as to how to get this piece out of the way. Well, Arrival have done it. That could reduce the cost to fleet running into thousands every year. It's really worth pointing out that this is going to be a heavily connected vehicle. Now, what that actually means in terms of the serviceability, the over-the-air updates, I'm not 100% sure, but certainly what they talk about is that your vehicle will always be at its optimum, with over-the-air updates bringing in the advancements, much like we've seen in the cutting-edge car marks like Tesla. So sadly, my time with the Arrival van has come to an end, but the EV van is definitely going to lead the way, I think, starting with the parcel market, developing into the other sectors. I think this has got an absolute game changer written all over it. So thanks for your time. I've been very excited to do this. Finally, I even got to drive around in it, and you know, yeah, it's a pre-production model, but the taste of things to come, see ya.